The shotgun blast echoed through the cornfields like a thunderclap from hell, shattering the fragile piece of Elmwood, Ohio. Liam Harper froze mid-step on the cracked sidewalk, his heart slamming against his ribs as if it might burst free. "Lucas!" he roared, the name tearing from his throat raw and ragged, years of buried fury and love exploding in that single syllable. He'd driven through the night from Chicago, the city lights fading into the rearview like a bad dream he couldn't shake, only to find this, his childhood home lit up like a funeral pyre, shadows dancing wildly across the lawn. The front door hung ajar, splintered wood framing the chaos inside, and there, slumped against the banister, was Lucas, blood trickling from a gash on his forehead, his blue eyes wide with a terror that mirrored Liam's own nightmares. "You came back," Lucas whispered, voice cracking like dry autumn leaves, as Liam dropped to his knees beside him, hands trembling as they cupped his face. But even in that moment of reunion, the air thickened with the ghosts of betrayal. Liam's family, those pious pillars of Midwestern righteousness, had finally crossed the line they'd towed for years. It had started innocently enough, or so the Harper clan liked to tell it. Back in high school, in the stifling summer of 2012, when Elmwood's air hung heavy with the scent of cut grass and unspoken sins, Liam had fallen hard for Lucas Riley. Lucas, with his easy laugh that cut through the humidity like a cool breeze, his freckles mapping constellations across his nose, and eyes the color of Lake Erie on a stormy day. They were both 18, rebels in a town that worshipped conformity, sneaking kisses behind the bleachers after Friday night football games, their hands fumbling in the dark like they were discovering fire for the first time. Liam's family, the Harpers, owners of the biggest feed mill in 3 counties, had caught wind of it during senior year. It wasn't the whispers from the locker room that did it. It was Mrs. Hargrove, the church busybody, spotting them tangled in the bed of Liam's old Ford pickup at the county fair. By Monday, the town buzzed like a hive kicked over, and the Harper dinner table turned into a battlefield. "You're a goddamn embarrassment," his father, Harlan, had snarled, fork clattering against his plate, face red as the borscht his Ukrainian mother used to make. "Faggot son of mine, dragging our name through the mud." Waddle the deacon say, "The mill's got contracts drying up because folks think we're soft on sin." His mother, Evelyn, had wept into her napkin, dabbing at mascara-streaked cheeks. "It's a phase, baby. Girls will come around. Just pray on it. Jesus don't love that kind of filth." And his sister, Becca, then 20 and already married to the quarterback, had leaned in with that saccharine smile, whispering, "We love you, Liam, but Lucas, that boy's poison. Trailer trash with a devil's grin. He's the one they hate most, ruining good Christian boys like you." They mocked him relentlessly after that. Subtle at first, extra chores piled on, accidental exclusions from family barbecues, Harlan's buddies at the VFW slipping in jabs about the fruit in the family basket. Then it escalated. Becca spreading rumors at the diner that Liam was confused, Evelyn forcing him into conversion prayer circles at the Baptist church, where sweaty-palmed elders laid hands on him and muttered about demons. Harlan, he just stared through him, like Liam was a ghost haunting the wrong house. But the worst was how they turned on Lucas. The Riles were poor, dirt poor, living in a double-wide on the edge of town. Lucas's dad a drunk who fixed cars when he wasn't passed out. The Harpers had always looked down on them, but now it was venom. Harlan blackballed Mr. Riley from mill jobs. Becca's husband egged Lucas's truck at a bonfire party. And Evelyn started a petition at church to save the souls of wayward youth, plastering Lucas's name on flyers like he was public enemy number one. Liam couldn't take it. The night of graduation, after a particularly brutal sermon where the pastor thundered about Sodom from the pulpit, eyes locked on Liam the whole time, he packed a duffel and left. A tearful goodbye in the Riley's overgrown yard, Lucas clinging to him like ivy on a crumbling wall. "Come back for me," Lucas had begged, lips salty with tears against Liam's neck. "Don't let them win." "I won't," Liam promised. But the road to Chicago was paved with good intentions and bad luck. He crashed on couches, waited tables at dive bars, eventually landed a gig as a mechanic at a Harley shop. The city swallowed him whole. Neon nights, anonymous hookups in back alleys, a tattoo of a broken compass on his forearm to remind him he was lost but moving. He sent money when he could, postcards with scribbled, "I love yous," but calls grew sparse. Life hardened him, turned the soft boy from Elmwood into a man with calluses on his soul. 5 years passed. Liam built a life. A tiny apartment above a Polish deli, buddies who got his jokes about small-town hell, even a tentative thing with a barista named Marco that fizzled when Marco wanted rings and Liam wanted ghosts. But Elmwood haunted him, especially Lucas. Social media blackouts. Becca had blocked him early, but snippets leaked through mutual friends. Lucas working doubles at the gas station, dodging Becca's barbs at the grocery store, Harlan's crew roughing him up once after a tailgate party. Then, 2 weeks ago, the call came. Not from Lucas, but from Becca, voice slurred with wine and something darker. "Your boy's in trouble, Liam. Real bad. Dad's had enough. You gonna let him drag us all down? Or you coming home to clean up your mess?" He'd hung up, heart pounding, and hit the highway before dawn. Now, here he was, cradling Lucas on the Harper porch, the acrid tang of gunpowder stinging his nostrils. "What the hell happened?" Liam demanded, voice low and fierce as he helped Lucas to his feet, scanning the empty foyer for threats. Lucas leaned into him, body shaking. "Your dad. He came at me with the shotgun. Said I was trespassing, that I'd corrupted you one last time. I was just dropping off that old photo album. Your mom's, the one with our pictures hidden in it. He lost it." Becca egged him on, laughing like it was a joke. Said they'd finally purged the filth. I fought back, grabbed the barrel. A crash from upstairs cut him off. Footsteps thundered down the stairs, and Harlan burst into view, wild-eyed, the empty shotgun dangling from his meaty fist. "You, boy, I told you to stay gone. This ain't your house no more." Behind him, Evelyn hovered like a specter, wringing her hands, while Becca peeked from the kitchen doorway, smirk fading into something uglier when she saw Liam's glare. "Dad," Liam said, stepping in front of Lucas, his voice steel wrapped in silk. "Put the gun down." "Now," Harlan laughed, a bark that echoed off the wallpaper peeling like old skin. "Or what? You'll prance off to your fairy city again? This is about family, son. Real family. That Riley scum's been bleeding us dry, stealing jobs, whispering lies. And you started it all." Lucas tensed beside him, but Liam held firm, the weight of 5 years' exile fueling his resolve. This wasn't just about the past. It was the spark that could burn it all down. As sirens wailed in the distance, someone must have called the cops. Liam realized he'd returned not just to save Lucas, but to reckon with the monsters he'd fled. The night unraveled like a poorly knit sweater. Cops swarmed the Harper lawn, flashlights carving shadows from the azaleas Evelyn had pruned to perfection. Harlan blustered, waving his arms about intruders and family matters, but the gash on Lucas's head told a different story. They hauled Harlan in for questioning, Evelyn trailing after with whimpers about a misunderstanding, and Becca shooting daggers at Liam as she dialed her husband. Liam drove Lucas to the ER in Lucas's beat-up Chevy, the silence between them thick as fog rolling off the Scioto River. Lucas stitched up with 6 staples. No concussion, but the doctor, a kindly old guy who remembered Liam from Pee Wee baseball, pursed his lips at the tale. "Domestic dispute," he muttered, signing discharge papers. "Y'all boys be careful." Small towns got long memories. Back at the Riley double-wide, under the flicker of a porch bulb strung with Christmas lights year-round, they collapsed onto the sagging couch. Lucas's mom, a chain-smoking wisp named Darlene, brewed weak coffee and patted Liam's knee. "Heard you was doing big things up north. Glad you're back, sugar." "Lucas. He ain't been right since you left." Liam nodded, throat tight, as Darlene shuffled off to bed. Alone at last, the dam broke. Lucas curled into him, sobs muffled against Liam's chest, and Liam held on like he was anchoring them both to the earth. "I thought you'd forgotten," Lucas murmured. "All those years. I kept your letters in a shoebox. Read 'em till the ink faded." "Never forgot," Liam replied, fingers tracing the scar on Lucas's jaw from that tailgate brawl. "Just survived. But you're it for me, Luce. Always were." Their kiss started soft, a tentative brush of lips tasting of antiseptic and salt, then deepened into something feral, hands roaming like they were mapping lost territory. Clothes shed in a heap, bodies pressing close on the threadbare rug. It was reunion and reckoning. Liam's city edges softening against Lucas's rural grit, whispers of "I love you," punctuating gasps that echoed their teenage fumblings but carried the weight of grown men's longing. Dawn crept in with pink fingers over the trailer park, finding them tangled in sheets that smelled of mothballs and hope. But as Liam stirred, phone buzzing with voicemails from Becca, "Dad's out on bail. You traitorous prick." He knew the real storm was just brewing. The Harpers wouldn't let go easy. They'd mocked him once, but now, with Lucas in the crosshairs, it was war. The Elmwood diner smelled like burnt toast and regret, the kind of place where vinyl booths stuck to your thighs and the coffee was strong enough to strip paint. Liam slid into a corner booth 2 days after the shotgun fiasco, Lucas across from him nursing a black mug, both of them jumpy as cats in a hailstorm. Outside, autumn leaves skittered across Main Street like fleeing conspirators, and the town whispered, oh, how it whispered about the Harper blow-up. "You sure about this?" Lucas asked, voice low, thumb tracing the rim of his cup. His staples itched under the ball cap pulled low, a bruise blooming purple on his cheekbone like a forbidden rose. Liam reached across, squeezing his hand under the table, a small rebellion in a town where such touches could spark sermons. "We face them together, or not at all. Becca's been texting nonstop. Says Dad wants to talk, like it's a goddamn intervention." Lucas snorted, but his eyes held that old fear, the one that had driven Liam away in the first place. "Talk, right? Last time your dad talked to me, I ended up with a busted lip and a lifetime ban from the mill picnic. Their waitress, Jenny from high school chem lab, refilled their waters with a sympathetic cluck. Heard Harlan's lawyering up. Says it was self-defense, protecting property from a known vagrant. Folks are talking sides. Boys. Church groups prayin' for y'all. Liam's jaw tightened. Sides. As if love drew lines like a football field. He'd spent the last 48 hours barricaded at the Relentless, fielding calls from his boss in Chicago. Take all the time. Man, family's family. Dodging Becca's voicemails laced with faux concern. Mom's heartbroken. Liam. Come home before you destroy us all. And through it all, stolen moments with Lucas. Lazy mornings in bed. Fingers interlaced as they watched reruns of old westerns. The world shrinking to the space between their heartbeats. But the idyll couldn't last. That afternoon, as they walked hand in hidden hand through the overgrown lot behind the diner, revisiting the spot where they'd shared their first real kiss, awkward and sweet under a harvest moon, Becca's SUV screeched to a halt at the curb. She hopped out, heels sinking into the gravel. Blonde bob impeccable even in crisis. Designer purse swinging like a weapon. Liam Michael Harper, she hissed, eyes darting to Lucas like he was a stain on the landscape. Get in the car. Now. Dad's at the house. And he's not alone. Liam crossed his arms, planting himself between her and Lucas. What's this about, Bex? Another round of pray the gay away? Her laugh was brittle, forced. Funny guy. No, it's about the will. And the mill. Turns out, Dad's been updating things. Since you left, he's been grooming me to take over, but there's clauses about moral character. Your little escapades, they're tanking deals. Suppliers pulling out. Literally, because words out the Harpers harbor deviants. Lucas stiffened, but Liam felt the betrayal coil in his gut like barbed wire. So that's it? Using the law to bury us? What? You think a lawyer's gonna scare me off? Becca's gaze softened. Just a flicker, the sister he'd once pushed on the backyard swing. Sharing secrets under the stars. It's not me, Liam. It's survival. The mill's our legacy. Mom's sick, real sick, cancer again, and Dad's heart's giving out from the stress. You waltz back, playing hero to your boyfriend, and it's like you never cared. Lucas here, he's the cancer on this family. We hated him from day one because he took you from us. The words landed like slaps, echoing the mocks of yesteryear, fairy boy, sissy. The slurs Harlan's buddies hurled at VFW poker nights. Liam's vision blurred, not with tears but rage. You hated him because he loved me without conditions. Unlike you lot, who twisted love into a noose. Lucas stepped forward, voice steady as a preacher's. Becca, I never wanted your legacy. Just your brother. If that's a crime in Elmwood, then lock me up, she faltered, lipstick smudging as she bit her lip. Just come talk. For Mom. Then she was gone, tires spinning gravel like accusations. That evening, the Harper house loomed like a mausoleum, its wraparound porch sagging under ivy chokeholds. Liam and Lucas arrived together, uninvited solidarity their armor. Inside, the air was stale with lemon polish and unspoken grief. Evelyn sat in her lazy boy, chemo-thin, a quilt draped over her knees, eyes hollow as she clutched a rosary. Harlan paced the Persian rug, paunch straining his flannel, flanked by a slick attorney named Pritchard, bald as a cue ball, tie too tight. Sit, Harlan grunted, gesturing to the couch like it was a throne. Liam pulled Lucas down beside him, their thighs pressing, a quiet fuck you to the room's tension. Pritchard cleared his throat, unfolding papers with a flourish. Mr. Harper Sr. has expressed concerns regarding estate distribution. Recent incidents have highlighted risks to the family enterprise. Provisions exist for disinheritance based on conduct unbecoming. Cut the legalese, Liam snapped. You're saying if I don't denounce Lucas, you cut me out? The mill? The house? Mom's care. Harlan stopped pacing, face crumpling into something almost human. It's not personal, son. The board's breathing down my neck. Church donors too. One whiff of scandal, and poof, contract's gone. Your ma's treatments ain't cheap. Evelyn whimpered. Liam. Honey. It's God's will. He don't abide. Unnatural loves. The room spun for Liam, old wounds ripping open. Betrayal wasn't just the mocks. It was this family weaponizing faith and fortune to erase him. Lucas's hand found his under the Afghan, a lifeline in the storm. You don't get to choose my love, Liam said, voice rising like a hymn. You mocked me for years, called me broken, sent me to those hellhole prayer meetings where they shocked the sin out of boys like me. And Lucas, you hated him most because he saw me whole. Well, guess what? I'm back. And I'm taking him with me. Legacy be damned. Chaos erupted. Harlan lunged, bellowing about ungrateful whelps, Pritchard scrambling for his briefcase, Evelyn dissolving into sobs. Lucas yanked Liam toward the door, but not before Becca appeared from the shadows, eyes wet. You always were the dramatic one, she spat, but her voice cracked. Fine. Go. But when the mill folds and mom's buried in a pauper's grave, don't come crying. Outside, rain lashed the windshield as they fled, wipers slapping rhythm like a heartbeat. Liam pulled over at the old quarry, engine ticking cool, and they wept together, fury, grief, love mingling in the downpour. They're poison, Lucas said, forehead to Liam's. But you're my antidote. In the days that followed, the town fractured. Harlan filed a restraining order against Lucas, for safety, barred from Harper property on pain of arrest. Whispers turned to shouts. Graffiti on the Riley trailer. Sinner out. Eggs on Liam's borrowed truck. Job offers drying up like the Cuyahoga in drought. Liam called his Chicago crew, scraped together funds for a lawyer of their own, a no-nonsense dyke from Cleveland named Rosa who promised to shred Pritchard's clauses. Nights blurred into a haze of takeout and tenderness. Lucas taught Liam to two-step in the trailer kitchen to Merle Haggard on the radio, their laughter chasing shadows. Remember prom? Lucas teased, spinning him under the fan. You in that rented tux. Me in my cousin's hand-me-down, sneaking out to the field for that slow dance. How could I forget? Liam murmured, pulling him close, the sway turning intimate. Their lovemaking was slower now, exploratory, Liam tracing the curve of Lucas's spine with reverent fingers, Lucas whispering poetry against his skin, words borrowed from E. Cummings smuggled from the library. It was romance reborn, emotional and raw, two souls stitching themselves amid the unraveling. But betrayal's shadow lengthened. One crisp October morning, Rosa called with news. Pritchard had dug up dirt, forged documents claiming Lucas had extorted money from the Harpers via Liam's old postcards. It's bullshit, she growled. But Harlan's pushing perjury. We counter, or they bury him. Liam's blood ran cold. extortion. The money he'd sent was love, not leverage. As he hung up, staring at the quarry's gaping maw from the trailer window, he knew the climax loomed. The family he'd fled wasn't done mocking. They were rewriting history to erase them both. The courtroom in the Lucas County Courthouse smelled like polished oak and desperation, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead like judgmental hornets. Elmwood's finest packed the gallery, farmers in John Deere caps, church ladies fanning themselves with bulletins, Harlan's VFW cronies muttering amens under their breath. Liam sat ramrod straight beside Lucas on the hard bench, Rosa's briefcase a fortress between them and the prosecution's table, where Pritchard preened like a peacock in pinstripes. Judge Harlan, unrelated, mercifully, but with the same bulldog jowls, banged his gavel, silencing the hum. Matter of Harper v. Riley. Counsel. Proceed. Pritchard rose, slick as oil. Your Honor, the plaintiff seeks to protect family assets from undue influence. The defendant, Lucas Riley, has a history of predatory behavior. Witness statements detail harassment, financial coercion dating back 5 years. He gestured to a stack of affidavits. Faces pale as the papers they signed. Becca front and center. Evelyn's shaky script. Even Mr. Riley coerced with mill favors. Liam's stomach churned. Coercion? This was the betrayal distilled. His own blood perjuring to paint Lucas as the villain. The one they hated most now cast as criminal. He squeezed Lucas's knee under the table, feeling the tremor there. The man who'd once wrestled him into hay bales now fighting to keep his chin up. Rosa didn't flinch. Objection. Your Honor, Foundation. These witnesses are entangled in a clear conflict. And the so-called evidence? Fabricated drivel. She slid exhibits across. Bank records of Liam's remittances, labeled gifts, not extortion. Emails from Becca admitting the shotgun joke. A notarized statement from Jenny the waitress corroborating Lucas's ER visit. The judge peered over his glasses. Gallery leaning in like it was the Super Bowl. Pritchard called Becca first. Her testimony a masterclass in selective memory. Lucas always manipulated Liam. Those postcards? Coded demands. We Harpers gave out of pity, but it poisoned everything. He's the reason Liam left. The reason our family's broken. Liam's vision tunneled. Broken? They'd shattered him first, locking him in his room after the fair scandal, forcing exorcisms that left him bruised and doubting his soul. Whispers from the pews back then. Pray for the Harper boy, led astray by that Riley devil. And Lucas, bearing the brunt, fired from the diner on Harlan's say-so, tires slashed, once even jumped by Becca's husband and his buddies, left bleeding in a ditch with a note. Stay away from our kind. Your witness? Pritchard said smugly. But Rosa circled like a shark. Ms. Harper. She began, voice honey over steel. You claim Mr. Riley manipulated your brother. Yet emails show you blocking Liam's number, spreading rumors he was in rehab for lifestyle issues. Care to explain? Becca flushed, glancing at Harlan, who stared daggers. I protected the family by mocking him, calling him fairy boy in group chats with your husband's friends? Or was that love? The gallery gasped. Pritchard objected furiously, but the seed was planted. Cracks in the Harper facade. Evelyn took the stand next, frail as tissue, tears flowing. I just wanted my boy back. Lucas. He tempted him into sin. The Bible says, Rosa interrupted gently. Mrs. Harper, with respect. The Bible also says love thy neighbor. Did you ever try that with Lucas? Or did you join petitions to evict the Relentless from their home? Evelyn wilted, whispering, "We were scared." The afternoon dragged, testimonies piling like storm clouds. Harlan testified last, booming about legacy and moral decay. But his eyes, those steel-blue eyes Liam inherited, betrayed the lie, fear, not righteousness. As he ranted about the one who hated most, pointing at Lucas, Liam saw the man beneath, the Korean War vet haunted by ghosts, clinging to control in a world shifting under his boots. Recess brought no relief. In the hallway, away from prying eyes, Liam pulled Lucas into a supply closet. Ironic, given their history of hidden trysts. "You're killing it," he murmured, backing Lucas against shelves of legal pads, their breaths mingling hot and urgent. Lucas's laugh was shaky. "Killing? I'm dying up there. They look at me like I'm the Antichrist." "You're my saint," Liam replied, kissing him fierce and deep, hands sliding under shirts to anchor skin to skin. It was brief, stolen, a gasp of normalcy amid the madness, but enough to steel them for round two. Court resumed with Rose's cross of Harlan. "Mr. Harper, you blackballed the Riley family from jobs, assaulted Mr. Riley with a firearm. Yet you cry victim? How does that square with turning the other cheek? You preach so loud." Harlan blustered. "He corrupted my son. Or loved him," Rosa pressed. "Your own diaries, subpoenaed, detail your regrets, calling Liam's departure my greatest sin. Afraid you pushed him away." The gallery erupted. "Diaries?" Harlan's face went ashen, Pritchard leaping up like a jack-in-the-box. Judge Harlan called order, but the damage was done. As closing arguments loomed, Liam caught Becca's eye across the room. She looked smaller, the Ice Queen melting into regret. Pritchard's close was fire and brimstone. "Protect the innocent. Cast out the serpent." Rose's was poetry. "This isn't about legacy. It's about love." The Harpers mocked Liam for years, hated Lucas most because he dared to love without shame. But love isn't a clause to litigate. It's the only inheritance worth fighting for. "Dismiss this farce, Your Honor. Let them heal." The gavel fell hours later, after deliberation that felt eternal. "Case dismissed," Judge Harlan intoned. "Insufficient evidence. Restraining order vacated." And a word to the plaintiffs. Justice ain't blind to bigotry. Cheers from the back. Jenny and a cluster of younger folks. Rainbow pins glinting defiantly. Harlan stormed out, Evelyn trailing with a parting glance at Liam. Pleading, almost sorry. Becca lingered, approaching hesitantly. "You won," she said, voice flat. "Happy? Not yet," Liam replied. "But maybe someday." Outside, under a sky bruised purple, Liam and Lucas embraced on the courthouse steps, townies snapping pics for the Elmwood Gazette. It was their coming out, public and proud, no more hiding in quarries or closets. The kiss they shared tasted of victory and vindication, deepening as cheers swelled, a small town's thawing heart. But triumph was bittersweet. That night, over beers at the Trailside Tavern Neutral Ground, where jukebox twang drowned old grudges, news hit like a sucker punch. Darlene burst in. Phone in hand, "Evelyn's gone." Collapsed at home, heart attack. Harlan's with her at the hospital. Liam's world tilted. Betrayal's echo. Had the trial pushed her over? Guilt gnawed as he raced to Mercy General. Lucas at his side. In the sterile waiting room, Harlan slumped in a chair, face carved hollow. "She asked for you," he muttered, not meeting Liam's eyes. Said, "Forgive us." Becca arrived, mascara rivers, hugging Liam fiercely. "She loved you. Always. Just didn't know how." As doctors delivered the blow, Evelyn gone, peacefully in her sleep, Liam shattered. Sobs racked him, Lucas holding him through it, Harlan watching like a man seeing his sins incarnate. In that grief-stricken huddle, something shifted. Harlan's hand on Liam's shoulder, tentative. "I was wrong, son. Mocked you. Hated him. Gnawed to Lucas, because I was scared. Of losing you. Of what it said about me." Words hung unspoken, but the air lightened, a crack in the armor. The funeral was a blur, church-packed, eulogies laced with hypocrisy. But afterward, at the graveside under weeping willows, Harlan pulled Liam aside. "The mill's yours, if you want it. Half to Becca, half to you. No strings." Liam glanced at Lucas, waiting by the wrought iron fence, sunlight gilding his curls. "Not yet, Dad. But maybe we talk. Really talk." It was a beginning, fragile as frost on pumpkins, but real. Back at the trailer, as leaves turned fire red, Liam and Lucas made love with a new tenderness. Celebratory, healing. Bodies entwined, whispers of future, Chicago weekends, Elmwood summers, a life woven from their threads. Romance bloomed emotional, deep as the Ohio River, humanistic in its quiet grace. Yet shadows lingered. Becca called a week later, voice-edged, "Dad's changing the will again. Says it's for redemption. But watch your back." Pritchard sniffing around, talking appeals. The betrayal wasn't dead. It mutated. As winter nipped at heels, Liam sensed the storm's return, not from family, but something darker, coiled in the heart of the man who'd mocked him most. Snow-dusted Elmwood like powdered sugar on a stale donut, turning the town into a postcard of false innocence. 2 months post-funeral, Liam and Lucas had carved a rhythm. Mornings at the mill, where Liam consulted on engines, tentative olive branch from Harlan. Afternoons tinkering in the Riley garage. Evenings wrapped in each other on the double-wide's couch, binging Netflix rom-coms that hit too close to home. It was domestic bliss, gay and unapologetic. Rainbow flag fluttering from the trailer hitch, Lucas's hand in Liam's at the Piggly Wiggly, drawing stares that softened from scowls to shrugs. Harlan's redemption played out in fits. Awkward lunches at the diner, where he'd grunt about crop yields and avoid eye contact with Lucas. But once, miracle of miracles, muttered, "Good job on that combined fix, Riley." Becca thawed slower, dropping off pies with notes like, "For the happy couple. Don't say I never did nothin'." Her barbs blunted by widowhood's loneliness after her husband's mill accident. But Pritchard lurked, a vulture in Brooks Brothers, filing motions for new evidence that smelled of desperation. Rosa laughed them off over video calls. Smoke and mirrors, boys. But Liam couldn't shake the unease, a prickle like eyes on his back during solitary walks by the frozen river. Decrested on a sleety January eve, Liam knee-deep in a carburetor rebuild when his phone lit up. Unknown number. "Harper? It's Pritchard. Off record. Meet me at the quarry, midnight. Your old man's in deep shit." Curiosity overrode caution. He slipped out, leaving Lucas asleep with a post-it. Errand. Love you. The quarry yawned black under sodium lamps, wind howling through chain link like banshees. Pritchard waited by his BMW, cigarette glowing. Quick and dirty, he said, exhaling smoke dragon-like. Harlan's cooking books. Embezzling from the mill pension funds. Supplier kickbacks. IRS sniffing. He wants out clean. Sign over your share to Becca. Disavow Riley publicly. Or I tip the feds, and the whole empire crumbles. Your ma's grave fresh enough to remember. Liam's blood iced. Betrayal's ugly head. Not just mocks, but fraud. Using Liam's return as leverage. You're blackmailing me? For him, Pritchard smirked. Family sticks together. Or not. He tossed a flash drive into the snow. Proof. Decide by dawn. Rage propelled Liam home, where Lucas stirred at his entrance, concern etching his face. What's wrong? Liam spilled it all. Drive clutched like contraband, their bed a confessional. Lucas's horror mirrored his. Harlan? Stealing from workers, the folks who trusted him. Dawn found them huddled over the drive's files on Lucas's ancient laptop. Spreadsheets screaming theft, diverted wages, fake invoices. We go to the feds, Lucas urged. Expose it. End this cycle. But Liam wavered, heart torn. Forgive the mocker, or torch the mockery. He's my dad. Loose. Broken. Yeah. But. Trying. Trying don't pay bills for the widows he robbed, Lucas countered. Voice gentle steel. Their argument spilled into mourning. Words sharp as icicles. But ended in embrace. Passion born of conflict. Bodies colliding with urgent need. Liam inside Lucas. Slow and deep. Eyes locked. It was their ritual of reconciliation. Sweat-slicked skin. Moans mingling with I choose us mantras. Decision made. They met Rosa in Cleveland. Drive in hand. Whistleblower status, she grinned. Immunity for you too. Harlan sings like Sinatra, but as they filed the report, karma bit, Becca called. Hysterical. Dad's missing. Left a note. Can't face the shame. Mills in lockdown. Feds at the door. Panic surged. They raced back. Elmwood a frenzy. Cop cars at the Harper manse. Workers milling confused. Becca met them on the porch. Face streaked. He took the truck. Headed for the river. Maybe. Blaming himself for Mom. For you. For everything. Liam's gut twisted. The Scioto, swollen with melt, had claimed teens in floods past. Whirlpools hungry for the lost. We find him, he declared, grabbing keys. Lucas nodded. Ever the anchor. Together, they scoured back roads, flashlights piercing gloom, calling Harlan's name into the void. Hours blurred, hope fraying, until Lucas spotted tire tracks veering into the old logging trail. Harlan's Ford nosed against a pine. Engine off. There, on the bank, Harlan sat, feet dangling over the edge. Bottle of bourbon in fist, staring at the churning black. Dad, Liam shouted, scrambling down the embankment. Lucas close. Harlan turned, eyes bloodshot, face a roadmap of regret. Go away, boy. Done mockin'. Just finishin'. No, Liam said, dropping beside him, mud-sucking at boots. You don't get to quit. Not on me. Not on Lucas. Not on Mom's memory. Harlan laughed wetly. Memory? I buried her with lies. Mocked you 'cause I couldn't face my own. Those war boys, the ones he trailed, voice cracking. Loved one, once. Never said. Hated you for being brave where I wasn't. Confession hung, raw and revelatory, the mocker unmasked, his hate a mirror to self-loathing. Lucas knelt too, hand on Harlan's shoulder. Mr. Harper. Harlan. I forgive you. For the hate. We all mess up. But drowning it, that don't fix nothin'. Words pierced. Harlan sobbed, bourbon splashing into the river like an offering. Liam pulled him back from the brink, arms around the man who'd shaped him with scorn and now, perhaps, salvation. They sat till dawn, 3 generations broken and binding, the waters roar a requiem for old sins. Feds descended at sunup, Harlan in cuffs but calmer, plea deal in sight. Tell him the truth, he told Liam, grip firm. And I'm proud of you both. Becca, arriving with coffee, witnessed the tableau, her ice fully thawed. Idiot, she muttered to Harlan, then hugged Lucas fierce. Sorry. For hating most. You saved us. In a way. Spring thawed Elmwood slow. Mill restructuring under Liam's steady hand. Worker co-op vibes. Fair wages. Rainbow stickers on the break room door. Romance flourished. Lucas and Liam's first public date at the county fair. Ferris wheel kisses under fireworks. Hands free and proud. Emotional depths plumbed in quiet talks. Liam sharing conversion scars. Lucas his trailer park loneliness, building a love humanistic, resilient. Yet climax brewed in summer's heat. Pritchard, cornered, flipped on accomplices but vanished pretrial. Whispers of revenge. One humid night, as cicadas screamed, Liam's truck exploded in the mill lot, arson. Note pinned to a beam, one down. The hated next. Fear gripped, but so did resolve. We end this, Liam vowed. Lucas nodding, their bond the unyielding core. July's humidity clung like a bad habit, Elmwood's air thick with fireflies and foreboding. The mill fire, Pritchard's parting shot, left Liam's truck a charred skeleton, but no injuries, just smoke signals of escalation. Feds hunted the lawyer, last pinged at a seedy motel in Toledo, but he was ghosting, a man scorned with a grudge as deep as the quarry. Liam and Lucas hunkered down, Rosa wiring security cams, Harlan out on bond, ankle monitor chafing, offering his old service pistol just in case. Town rallied quiet like. Jenny organizing a benefit barbecue, church ladies baking casserole sans sermons. Even Becca bunking at the trailer for solidarity sleepovers. Her stories of marital woes cracking her armor into vulnerability. Nights turned vigilant. Liam and Lucas patrolling the property. Shotguns propped like sentinels. But fear forged intimacy. Candlelit dinners of grilled corn and whispered dreams. A cabin upstate. Adopted kids with Riley Harper hyphens. A life beyond mocks. Their love was the story's heartbeat. Romantic in its tenacity. Lucas serenading Liam with off-key guitar under stars. Liam sketching tattoos of intertwined roots for their anniversary ink. Betrayal's final twist slithered in August. Dog days baking the earth. Becca woke them at 3 a.m., pounding on the trailer door, wild-eyed. It's Pritchard, he called Dad. Says meet at the VFW. Alone. To settle scores. Harlan went. Said it was his mess to clean. Fury and dread collided. That fool? Liam growled. yanking on jeans. Lucas grabbed the pistol, face set. We go. All of us. The VFW hall squatted dark on the outskirts. Neon closed sign flickering like a trap. Inside, shadows pooled under pool tables, the air stale with stale beer and regret. Harlan stood center, back to them, facing Pritchard, disheveled, wild-haired, .38 glinting in his fist. You ruined me, Pritchard spat, voice echoing off purple heart plaques. Harlan, you confess, or I paint this wall with your prodigal son's blood. His eyes flicked to Liam, entering with Lucas and Becca, gun steady on Harlan's chest. Drop it, Liam commanded, pistol raised, heart hammering. Lucas flanked him, Becca frozen behind. Climax crackled, air electric, every breath a precipice. Harlan turned, face ashen. My fault, boys. He knew about the books, helped cook 'em, then blackmailed. I mocked you, Liam, to hide my dirt. Hated Lucas 'cause he was clean, what I couldn't be. Pritchard laughed maniacal. Clean? Your fag son's next, after I erase the lot. He swung the .38 toward Lucas, the hated most, finger whitening on trigger. Time fractured. Liam lunged, tackling Pritchard, shots cracking wild, plaster exploding, ricochets whining. They grappled, grunts and curses, the gun skittering. Lucas dove, pinning Pritchard's arm, Becca screaming for 911. Harlan, redeemed in frenzy, grabbed the .38, hurling it into the jukebox, sparking a shower of glass and Johnny Cash static. Feds burst in minutes later, tipped by Rose's trace, cuffing a bloodied Pritchard. His empire of spite crumbled. Medics swarmed. Liam with a grazed shoulder, superficial. Lucas unscathed but shaking. Harlan clutching his chest, but stable, a minor episode, stress-fueled. In the ER glow, as dawn broke, reckonings flowed. Harlan, fore-dripped, gripped Liam's hand. You saved me, son. After all the mockin', the hate, you came back. Tears tracked his weathered cheeks. Lucas, sorry. For everything. Your family. Lucas nodded, magnanimous. Water under the bridge. Harlan. Or river, I guess. Becca, bandaging a cut from flying glass, pulled Liam into a hug. We were wrong. All of us. But look, we're here. The aftermath unfolded humanistic, threads weaving whole. Pritchard pled out. Mill salvaged under co-op charter. Liam CEO. Becca CFO. Workers voting shares. Harlan retired to fishing. Therapy sessions cracking his shell. Occasional VFW toasts to the boys. Evelyn's grave sprouted wildflowers, tended by all. Fall brought Harvest Festival. Elmwood Square alive with booths and brass bands. Liam and Lucas danced under strung lights, slow and sure. Townies clapping tentative then true. No more hiding their love, once mocked, now a quiet legend, inspiring a teen center for LGBTQ+ youth. Rainbow flag high. One crisp evening, atop the quarry rim reclaimed as a park, they sat, legs dangling, beers clinking. Return to save you, Liam mused, arm around Lucas. But you saved me first, every day since. Lucas leaned in, kiss soft as mist. We're even. Forever. The sun dipped, gilding the scars of their story, dramatic falls, emotional rises, Romantic binds, humanistic heal. No tidy bows, just lives intertwined, mocking the past with presence. In America's heartland, two men proved love's the truest legacy. Unmockable, unending. Epilogue whispers. A year on. Wedding under those weeping willows, Harlan walking Liam. Becca maid of honor. Town toasting with pride. And in quiet moments, Liam traces Lucas's Staples ghost, grateful for the shot that echoed home.